All right, you guys, we are recording. Oh, perfect timing. Brian Saunders is in the house. We are recording. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm actually going to start this team call off with some announcements, and I don't like to do that because I like my videos to be like topic specific so that other teams even and other people can click in on our YouTube recordings and get value from a certain topic. But we just have some stuff like team housekeeping stuff that I just want to make sure that I go over with you guys. And I kind of think this is the best way to do it tonight since so many people will be watching the replay. There's so many people that let me know they couldn't be on tonight. So let me just jump in with some sort of unsexy, and actually they're very sexy announcements, but they don't pertain to the team call topic just yet. So number one, do you guys know who the keynote speaker is at Platinum Edge? If you know, don't say it. Do you know? Oh, good. Okay. So first, this woman is someone that Forbes magazine says is one of the top 10 social media influencers. She's someone that Shalene talks about all the time. She has been called the queen of Facebook. She is currently the most on-demand public speaker. The most on-demand public speaker. She is Mari Smith. She's Mari Smith. So she is going to be speaking for 90 minutes on Saturday at Platinum Edge. I know a lot of us are coming to Platinum Edge, which is coming up in, I don't know, not very many days, September 22nd. It's 1 month from today. Whoa, 1 month from today, Felder. Whoa, 1 month from today. So Christine Dwyer was like, seriously, it's worth, even if you can't come on time, like just to show up for the keynote speaker on Saturday is worth it. She's going to be talking about lead generation and how to get an organic reach on Facebook. And so organic means free, a free reach. She's going to be teaching us how, if we have 0 followers, which was definitely me as a new coach, and probably a lot of the new coaches on our team and your teams, if you have 0 followers on Facebook, don't know what your own brand is, she's going to teach you still how to get an organic reach and how to grow your brand. She's going to talk about, I think I already said lead generation, but also Facebook ads, how to run them. We were just talking about that when we hopped on the call tonight. Email organization, video streaming, live, all that stuff. And FYI, there's a Dallas Cowboys have a home game. So there's going to be some Dallas Cowboys in the hotel because we're sharing a hotel with them. So anyway, that's a little bit about Platinum Edge. Moving on, the health bet, you guys. I feel like I have not been promoting it enough, and that changed today. So I'm not sure where you guys are all at with promoting it, but I really feel strongly it's something you guys should be pushing and talking about every single day. Felder kind of explained it to me. There's nothing to lose. Felder was voxed and said, like even our Shakeology customers, even people that aren't drinking Shakeology and have a bag left on their counter, like every former customer and current customer we have needs to know that they can get a check in the mail. And then of course it's huge to get people in on with the current promotions being everything on. So are there any questions about what the health bet entails? If you don't know, there's a video on the team page. There's one I just posted on my timeline tonight that I did. I think you guys should be promoting it every single day. Every single day, the health bet, free money, free money. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna create an event, not a Facebook group, but an event that you can all share. And you can also, when I create events, it's easy for me to make co-hosts. So if someone goes to the event, it won't look like if Jake and Adele and Bree want to be part of this event with me, they can just let me know and I can make them co-host. Then if their friends come to the event, it doesn't look like it's my event. It looks like it's our event. They'll see that we're all hosting it together. And basically, it can be a way we get the word out, and we can all put videos and little promos in there and keep inviting our friends through this event. And then through the event, we get people into the My Challenge Tracker app. So you don't have to put them in a Facebook group. In fact, I talked to some of you, like Embers doesn't even want to do a Facebook group for September 5th to October 2nd because it doesn't count towards the health bet. So event, I'm going to create an event. I'll post about that in the team page. Be looking for that. I think that's a good way we can capture people by name and then get them the information on how to join and what the rules are. Team Play Hard has some offset groups, and I think there's such a thing that I'm very sensitive to with you guys, that is like over meeting. I think there's such a thing as too many meetings, too many calls to get on, too much, just too much, like, oh, this call and oh, that call. And I think there's such a thing as being a part of too many groups. So I'm really hesitant and very respectful of your time when I create a group. I'm like, I always ask myself, is this really, really, really beneficial? So we have a local Super Saturday group. That group has been very important for like Pacific Northwesterners. And I think you guys out in Team Sogo land, you guys need to have an offset Team Sogo Super Saturday group as well. And then we also have the Nashville Summit, the Platinum Edge, and it's not Nashville anymore, Platinum Edge Coach Summit group, which is very beneficial. It's been very beneficial. There's so many of us that are going to do the Ultimate Reset. And I think that is going to be something that stays as a part of our team culture. I know Fuji's team has done it before very successfully. I just think it's a big piece of something that all of us as long-term lifer coaches should be doing like annually. Not that I've been the best role model for that, but I want to change that. And so I think it's an important part of being a coach is that you dive into the reset at some point. And there's so many of us doing it right now, coming up in September, that I want to create an offset group, and I don't want to overgroup you, but where we all post everything we can to help each other with the reset so that we're not bombarding Team Play Hard and we're not bombarding anything else. Okay. Health Pet, Mari Smith, the Ultimate Reset. Let's get into the heart of the call tonight, which is going to be about emotional intelligence. I think I called the team call. What did I call the team call? Self-awareness. After reading Gary Vee, he really put his finger, the Ask Gary Vee book, that's what I'm going to get you, Adele. I think that's the one I'm going to get you, or Andrea, I don't remember. Maybe it was Andrea. But the Ask Gary Vee book, he really boiled down success in life to self-awareness. And so because of that, I've been reading a lot of articles and doing a lot of reading about what that means. And you guys have heard the term emotional quotient, EQ. It's like equivalent to / opposite of sometimes IQ. So the intelligence quotient, it's how emotionally smart you are, what your social skills are like. And so here's a quote from Success Magazine by a Daniel Goleman, PhD. He's a well-known writer and researcher on leadership, and he wrote a best-selling book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. And this quote reads like this: if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are, you're not going to go very far. So what exactly is emotional intelligence? EI. They're calling it EI. I'm used to referring to it as EQ, but same thing. Psychology Today says, 1, it's the ability to accurately identify your own emotions as well as those of others. 2, the ability to utilize emotions and apply them to tasks, kind of like thinking and problem solving. So it's applying emotions to tasks, sort of like we apply our brains to problem solving. And number 3, the ability to manage emotions, including controlling our own, as well as the ability to cheer up or calm down. So this is going to be kind of a short team call moving forward, but there are kind of 7 key attributes of someone who is emotionally intelligent. And I think we would all agree with Gary Vee that EQ, or the emotional quotient, or emotional intelligence, is really important for our business, and that we definitely have a very social business. And I'm not the brightest tool in the toolbox, and I'm able to navigate this business, and I think I rely on people's skills a lot. I also find myself, like, I was doing some self-analysis in preparing this call for you tonight, and I really found some like glaring deficiencies in my EQ. So I'll just tell you what they are. Big glaring deficits in my EQ. One is talking too much. And these kind of go hand in hand. The other one is interrupting. So that is, I catch myself doing that a lot. I'm scared to think about how many times I do it and I don't catch myself. And that's a lack of self-awareness. That's a huge lack of self-awareness. So on one hand, I think I have social skills, but I see those big weaknesses. So there are 7, and you might want to take notes because I think they're really good attributes to those of us that have emotional intelligence. So number 1, they are change agents. So if you are emotionally intelligent, you are a change agent. Part of that means that you are not afraid of change, and that you understand that it's necessary, and it's part of life, and you adapt. So I was trying to think about each of these points in terms of our business, and like Beachbody on Demand, that was new. Some of us adapted, especially those of us that were in their 20s. And some of us were more resistant to change, like me on that. That was hard, still is. And what about my challenge tracker app? That was change for our business. That was a big shift. Did you guys jump on board, or did you not adapt? Were you resistant to change? I think about like the Team Cup. Like, we started announcing Team Cup this month, and there were a lot of new coaches at that time. And a lot of, I asked a lot of my new coaches to do it, and it was really interesting because most of them were like, I don't know what it is. Okay, I'll do it. And a lot of them were like, I'm scared. Like, they felt like it was this big, like, stressful competition, and they felt scared, but they were like, okay. And I'm like, awesome. They're adaptable. Like, that's really big. That's really big. So think about how our business changes and new stuff happens, and do you adapt? Number 2, they are self-aware. So people that are emotionally intelligent are self-aware, and self-aware is the Gary Vaynerchuk word. I mean, not that he coined that phrase, but he definitely believes that's vitally key to the health of entrepreneurship. More important than brains. More important than brains. So people that are self-aware, they know what they're good at and what they still have to learn. Weaknesses don't hold them back. And they know what environments are optimal for their work style. So I want to just ask you, and it can be rhetorical, or not. You can unmute and answer, or you can just kind of think about it. Where are you weak in terms of being self-aware, in terms of knowing what you're good at, what are your weaknesses, where are you weak? And what's something that you are really strong at? Just think about that and maybe write something down. That's when I came up with the fact that I talk too much and I don't listen enough, and I interrupt half the time I am listening.
I'm not very empathetic.
Brian, you're not very empathetic?
No. I've been called a dick and a hard ass. And I own it.
Yeah, you are kind of a dick. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I have a ridiculously quick temper.
You do?
It's bad. It doesn't come up very often, but when it does, it's like,
boom.
Ask my husband.
All right, let's move on. Thanks, you guys. So number 3, Brian, they're empathetic. They're empathetic. So it is the hallmark. Empathy is the hallmark of emotional intelligence, being able to relate to others. It's an innate ability to understand like what others are feeling. He also adds that, wait, I think that's in a different point. Hold on. Yeah, that's in a different section. Empathy is so important, I think, for our coaches, and knowing our coaches too, but I actually didn't mean to say that, our challengers, knowing who needs a little bit of extra attention, who needs more than like, hey, great job, written in the comment of their post in a challenge group, who needs more than a comment and they need you to privately message them or text message them or call them. There was one challenger I had once that I set a phone alarm on my phone with his name. He was morbidly obese, and I set my phone alarm, and it was just to send him a little text message every single day because he needed that much accountability, that he knew I would check in with him every day via a text. And so that was different. Like, I don't do that with all my challengers. So it's I think it's a really important skill for our challenge groups. Okay, number 4. So number 3 is they're empathetic. Let me just review really quickly. Number 1, they're change agents. You're a change agent. Number 2, you're self-aware. Number 3, you have empathy. Number 4, you are not a perfectionist. Whew, you're not a perfectionist. So while people with EQ or emotional intelligence, EI, while they are extremely motivated, they know that perfection is impossible. So they really do roll with the punches, learn from their mistakes. So I think that's really valuable for us as coaches as well, because I just think it's easy to get caught up in the comparison game. And I think a lot of, I just think a lot of times there's this like idea, I think there's so much like perfectionism in coaching, and like looking at the top coaches, and we don't have to be perfect. I don't know if this was, I think it was Kristen that said this to me this week. Kristen, was it you that said you were glad that I admitted that I've never hit 12 months in a row of Success Club? Is that you that said that to me this week? You don't know? You're muted.
It sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah, I've never, you guys, like, I'm an elite coach. That's a big deal. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do. But you don't have to be perfect to get there. Like, at all. The most I've ever hit Success Club is 8 months in a row. Like you don't become like what they call an all-star until you have it 12 months in a row. And I've never been able to claim that title. And Success Club is like a big deal. And I still made it to be an elite coach. So you don't have to be perfect. And you don't have to do Google Streak. And you don't have to do all you don't have to do it all perfectly. Like even your power hours, like you guys, this is a tangent, but I've been wanting to say this to the team for so long. It's like worthy of its own team call right here, what I'm about to say. Like you guys have to figure out the way you work. So like I have to tell you, my power hours are not exactly the way I teach them to you guys. So I teach them the way that I believe they are best in a cookie cutter way for most coaches. And for maybe coaches that maybe lack, like, that maybe need the consistency, the routine, the habit. They need to develop a habit. Okay, so just so you guys know, for me, I'm motivated enough. Like, I know me. I know how motivated I am. I know what I want, and I know how hard I'm willing to work for my goals in this business. So I just want to tell you guys, I don't power hour every day in the way that I've structured it as ideal. And I don't want you to take this as like, whoa, I'm off the hook, guys. She said I don't need to do a power hour. You do, unless you know yourself the way I know myself, and you're different. So this is how I am. I like binge. I will sit down for hours and invite and work and network and build relationships. Okay, like on Saturday, I got this new Fitbit, this thing, I won it, and it like tracks your steps. And I hadn't done my inviting. Like I think Success Club is my job. It's our job. If we care about the business, it's our job. Your job is to hit Success Club every month. So I hadn't hit it, and I'm like, anyway, so I'm like, Saturday is the day I'm gonna binge. I mean, I'm gonna network, like I'm just gonna I'm gonna work until I hit Success Club. And so I sat down and I do this, rather than divvying it up for like 5 power hours Monday through Friday, I sat down and at 2:10, at 2:10, I looked at my little watch thing. I still can't quite figure out how to make it work exactly. And I was like touching all the buttons, and it said I'd taken 28 steps. 28, like I walked up the stairs, like I brushed my teeth, I got coffee, and I sat on my butt and did the work. So anyway, that's a kind of a tangent, but I think it's an important one. It's about perfectionism. Like I do, you guys have, it is a vital behavior. I'm not saying don't do the vital behavior, but just know yourself. You don't have to follow what everything everyone says is right. So like maybe you'll never do Google Streak. Maybe you'll never do, maybe your power hours won't look like the power hour. Okay, number 5 of 7. They are balanced. I meant to put this in like the second person. You are balanced. If you have emotional intelligence, you are balanced, meaning your self-awareness means you naturally know the importance of how to maintain your healthy professional and personal balance. It's just kind of a funny one for me, because like I'm definitely like love and are friends with a lot of you guys just because of like the nature of what we do. But I still try to, like, on team play hard, I try to like put on a hat of like I'm a professional. But talk to me out of team play hard and I have a different tone. So I try to balance like the professional and the personal. It's balance. And then you're eating well. Obviously he didn't write this article for fitness people like us. So for us, it kind of goes without saying, we're eating well, getting plenty of sleep, and we have interests outside of work. And I do think we tend to, so new coaches tend to fall into a couple categories in my mind. They either are like struggle to like work the business because they make excuses or they don't really want it that bad, and I'm always like, oh, I want more from you. I want more from you. You're so much capable of so much more. Like, please do more. You could be so great at this. Or they're like, this is so fun, I can't stop, and my spouse is upset because I'm like, I can't turn it off. And like, I know Kristen feels this way. And Jen Elliott recently said, like, I gotta unplug my phone because my husband is like, what happened to my wife? I lost her into the Beachbody world. So for some of us, it's like we get out of balance. And we aren't spending enough time sleeping, doing other things, unplugging entirely, and, you know, just unplugging and having other interests and spending time with our loved ones. So now there's some people that need to spend less time with their loved ones and more time working. Okay, I need to rein it in. All right, number 6, they're curious. So people with emotional intelligence have an inborn sense of wonder and curiosity. It makes them delightful to be around. They are non-judgmental. They ask questions and they're open to new solutions. That's pretty big. So you are curious. I like that part about being non-judgmental. And the last one, number 7, you are gracious. People with high emotional intelligence know every day brings something to be thankful for. And we don't see the world as glass half empty, as lots of people do. And we feel good about our lives, and we don't let critics and toxic people affect that. So let me just recap those 7 characteristics of people that are emotionally intelligent. Number 1, we are change agents. We aren't afraid of change. We adapt. We roll with the punches. We are self-aware, and we know what we're good at and what our weaknesses are, but we don't let our weaknesses hold us back. We're empathetic, and we have an innate ability to understand how people are feeling. And we're not perfectionistic. So we just kind of roll with the punches, learn from our mistakes. We know that being perfect is impossible. And we're balanced. So we have other hobbies besides Beachbody. We have a life outside of Beachbody. And we're getting sleep and all that stuff. That might be an area of weakness for me too, actually. We are curious. We have an inborn sense of wonder. We're delightful to be around. We're not judgmental. And we ask questions, and we're open to new solutions. And lastly, we are gracious. And we find things to be grateful for every day. So, one second. My alarm is going off, and it's to remind me to post in the Emerald to Diamond push group. I just dismissed it. I hope I don't forget. Okay, so to close, emotionally intelligent people know how to make work and the world a better place. So are you one of them? That's kind of the gist of that article, spurred on by Gary Vee. And also I've done 3 of the color code assessments, you know, like the DISC assessment is one, and the GEMS, and they had us do one at leadership last year, and as a master trainer they've had us do it a couple times where you learn what color you are. But the idea behind that, not just that you learn what kind of color you are, like if you're a yellow, you're super fun, and if you're blue, you're super passionate, and if you're red, you're like a total like large and in charge leader. And I think white is like peacemaker, and usually people have like a balance of these things but have a dominant characteristic. And the idea behind, I'd like to do one with our team, but they're free tests, and then the idea is that you kind of know where you are, but you also learn how to relate to people that aren't like you. So if you're a red, you might be annoyed by someone that's dominantly yellow, but it teaches you how you might better relate to them. So I think all these things are really important for what we do. And that's all I've got. 7:31. Any questions, comments? Anyone done the color code? Anyone have any thoughts about being emotionally smart?
I've done stuff similar to the color code. There's a new disc model out, and it like puts you into bird groups. So it's like there's an owl, an eagle, a dove, and a parrot. So the parrot's obviously like the party person, you know, super chatty.
Bobby?
The
Bobby's a
owl-
parrot? Is Bobby a parrot?
I didn't say that specifically. The owl is like very logical, kind of takes a strategic approach to everything. The dove is just like wears the heart on the sleeve, you know, kind of person, cares about everybody, puts others first. And then the eagle's like your dominant leader person. So similar.
Is it a free one? Like is it one of those free ones that you do, or do you pay for it?
I don't think so. At my job, we have like our own training department. So it's like leadership type classes. And I took it through them, and they're like certified to teach it. So I doubt it. Mm-hmm. But it was cool.
That is cool. It'd be a good team
What
culture.
were you, Nick?
I am a dove, owl, with a little bit of parrot, surprisingly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, not much eagle, not very dominant, not in your face. Anyway,
Carolyn, have you done a color code? Ever? No?
Ellen, I'd like to point out that other than Andrea, my entire Team Cup team is here.
No,
And she-
the closest I've done to any kind of testing like that is like the Myers-Briggs.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
I've done the Myers-Briggs.
it tells you if you're introvert, extrovert, sensing, perceptive, judgmental, that kind of thing.
Ah.
I'm definitely a listener, and I think I have a good sense of how people are feeling. So, and I'm definitely an introvert, but that's a good thing. So,
Yeah. Nick, yeah, your team cup is representing.
We do another thing at work called the predictive index. So you take two different survey type things. It's basically just a giant list of words that you select. You can like check them or not. And the first group of words you select are based on how you see yourself. And it's just like tons of adjectives like happy, friendly, you know, generous, whatever. And then the second set is how others view you. And based on how you select these words, like there's certain ones in there like friendly that they just throw out. So it's really hard to like cheat the test, you know, because everybody wants to be friendly.
Right.
Based on the way you take it, it's like 93% accurate. That gives you like a chart of how like your behaviors and how you work well with other people and that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. I'm certified to like give it and read it to people, but I think if I did it for our whole team, they might get suspicious.
Dude, you mean at work? Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, well, it's like an external system through a website, so I could like send people remote surveys through email, but then all of you would show up in our system. So if somebody went out there and looked, and be like, who are these people from Oregon? I don't.
Oh. Shoot.
But I could try it maybe like once a month.
Could you get permission? Could you just ask permission?
I could probably ask my boss and see if she would care. I don't
Yeah,
think she would.
ask. I'd love that. I ask her because that would be really cool. That would be a great team call.
I can get, it's like an external deal, so I can get to it like when I'm not at work. So,
Yeah, ask.
okay.
Well, you guys, before we get off, just to close, any thoughts, anything other than the event? Any ideas on how, are you guys talking about the health vet? Nick, I know you are.
I like the event idea. That's smart. It takes the pressure off of like telling every single person what it is and like trying to sell it to them. It's more about then it'd be more about just kind of giving them a very brief description, and then if you're interested in more detail, check out the event. I'll invite you to it or whatever.
Right, and then we also we can use Facebook and we can group people in an event without putting them in a group. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I made the September Slim Down group, but we don't have to use that. If you guys want to just use the app, I can delete that group. I mean, we don't have to have that Facebook group, but it's there. But with an event, we can funnel people off of Facebook. And I think if we put them in the group, they're going to stay in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Are you guys all using the My Challenge tracker? Like, have you guys all dabbled? It's
Yes.
Yes.
I need to watch the videos on it, but I'm going to.
I can
love
Hey, Elle.
Brian, I'll just add you as a coach admin to the do you use the C-utility for your Beachbody email? The C-2 utility email?
Mhm.
I'll make you a coach. I'll make you an admin on the
I
September
think I
one.
only used it in the beta phase. I haven't used it since the beta testing.
Way better. It's way
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Hey, off topic, you listened to Gary Vee? Has he said much about Instagram stories?
I haven't heard him talk about it, and some of you guys. Oh, Jake, you should take this because I watched the video that Jake posted in Team Play Hard from Shalene. It was a podcast, and I'm gonna sum it up, and then I'm gonna have Jake talk about it. She basically said, hold off, simmer down, slow your roll, don't start doing Instagram stories. You can hurt yourself. She said, wait. And she said, people that follow you on Snapchat and follow your story on Snapchat, they already love you and they want to be a voyeur into your life. They already love you and they want to see what color you paint your toenails or how you talk to your kids or what your kitchen looks like. They already love you. But she's like, people on Instagram, they're following you because you're putting these pictures of food and fitness or whatever. And then if you suddenly start showing pieces of your life Shalene doesn't like the way Instagram stories is right now. She thinks it'll change a lot. But because it shows up first, she's like, people that are following you because they liked your food picture or your workout picture, they're following you because they like all your workout pictures. They might see one of your stories and be like, oh no, delete, unfollow. Okay, Jake, you can probably explain it better than me.
No, I mean, you kind of summed it up. We tend to have different brands on different social media. So our Snapchat brand could be way more personal, way more candid, silly, or whatever the case may be. And our Instagram followers, our Instagram presence, I know my Instagram presence is certainly a lot different from the stuff I show on Snapchat. And so she was basically just, as Ellen said, warning people not to just start utilizing Instagram stories the same way they utilize Snapchat and assume that their Instagram followers are going to respond and enjoy it the same way the Snapchat followers do. Because it's a completely different group of people and following you for different reasons, usually. So
yeah, because they've got to find they have to really find you on Snapchat. There's no hashtag. They have to be looking for Brian Saunders because they already love you and they want to really see you and see what you're
personal.
But people follow me on Instagram that probably wouldn't follow me if they knew what I was like. They don't love me. You don't really know me that well by my Instagram. You just see polished up pictures of little snippets of my life. But
right.
you see the whole thing on Snap.
Yeah.
So she was really hold off, and she really thinks it has a lot of imperfections right now that will improve in time. So
I
she's
totally
hold
agree
off.
with that. Yeah.
But
Well, that makes sense.
I haven't done it yet. I think you guys have. Holly, have you done stories on Insta? No? Nick, have you?
I think I've done 2 different ones, and they weren't like quite as personal as Snap, but they weren't. It's something like it was both times is something that would like relate to a hashtag, but not necessarily a fitness one. You know.
Yeah.
So something that somebody might find me using a hashtag, but not too crazy like Snap. But I don't know. I feel like it's too redundant right now until it's a little different. And I don't really know how to utilize it yet, so I kind of stay off of it. I've only done a couple.
Kristen, have you done it?
I've done a couple, but once I watched that video, I was like, I'm going to just wait. I'm going to see what other people do and let them work with it a little bit and then go from there. Because I'm really just diving into Snap for the first time, and I really like Instagram, but I don't want to get confused, and I don't want to confuse my audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I want people to fall in love with me on Instagram and then become my besties on Snap and then become my coaches. So there's a trickle-down effect I'd like to have. So.
All right, guys. Let's call it a night. Deal? All right. Peace out.
It's good. Good night, guys.
Good night.